What do all of these animals have in common? The Gila monster, the orchard swallowtail caterpillar, the peacock mantis shrimp. They all have funny names. The wonderpuss. Exit, stage left. How do they come up with these names? Like this. Ta-da! It's a fried egg jellyfish. Don't forget the secretary bird. Or the blue ribbon eel. And me, proboscis monkey. Get the scoop on what's what with You're Called What.
Wait, what? You're called what?
Coming up, find out what's biting these fish friends. It's awfully quiet around here suddenly.
Frankie, relax. You're just being paranoid.
The surprising name for a group of lemurs.
I'm keeping an eye out for Billy. He's it.
And we settle the Platypus Bill once and for all. I am not a duck. What do you get when you take some pepper, add mint, then a stick, and an insect? It's a peppermint stick insect.
Gecko, what?
A pepper, mint, stick insect.
Do you need a breath spray? Because I can help you out there. Just saying.
These insects can be found in tropical rainforests throughout the east coast of Australia, as well as several islands in the Pacific Ocean, north to the Philippines.
It's all about the ocean breezes. Gets rid of any odd smells.
Like the seabed-hugging stonefish, the flower-dwelling crab spider, and tree-loving chameleon, the peppermint stick insect is one of nature's master camouflages. It makes its home in a pandanus, a palm tree found along the beaches and marshes of the wet tropics. It eats pandanus leaves as well. Stick insects are phasmids, but often confused with mantids, like the praying mantis. The difference is, mantids eat crickets and other insects, and phasmids are strictly plant eaters.
I hear a carnivore diet can give you bad breath. Not worth the risk.
If danger approaches, the peppermint stick insect will tuck in its legs and squeeze into the spine of the pandanus leaf in hope it blends right in. It has tiny little hooks on its legs and feet to grip onto the smooth leaves.
I think I got stuck in the leaf again. Can someone hook me out of here?
And if that doesn't work, it's time for Plan B.
Behind you!
Unlike most stick insects, this phasmid has an inbuilt misting system. They can spray a chemical from glands behind its head at unwanted company.
Stay back, or I'll have you smelling like minty freshness.
That's right, a nasty spray for intruders smells like delicious pepperminty goodness to humans.
The spider I don't mind. It's his bad breath that kills me.
The peppermint stick insect, taking on mighty foes, one minty spray at a time.
What do you get when you cross a string and bow musician with a stalk-eyed crustacean? It's a fiddler crab.
You're called what?
A fiddler crab.
This body is a finely tuned instrument. Let me show you how.
Fiddler crabs can be found on most warm beaches either side of the equator. They prefer the mangroves, mudflats and tidal zones. That's the area between the highest and lowest points the water reaches. These crabs dig burrows into the sand, which can go down 30 centimetres deep.
I'm over here. Here I am, over here.
You can spot these energetic wavers some distance away. The males have one huge claw. They're usually brightly coloured and designed to attract the attention of passing females.
Fiona, Fiona, Fiona.
Their waving action looks a little like a fiddler playing. They also use their oversized pincers to ward off other males from their burrows.
I challenge you to an arm wrestle.
You are up. If they lose a claw in a fight, they can grow another in its place, though it will be smaller.
Fiddlesticks.
However, their uneven claws aren't practical for feeding. The males take twice as long to get the same amount of food as females, which have pincers the same size. They shove bits of sand and mud into their mouthparts, filter out the edible bits and spit out sand balls onto the ground.
It's a tough way to earn a crust.
These snack-sized little crabs have to keep their eyes out for hungry shorebirds and mammals above the waterline and stingrays and larger crabs below. For safety in numbers, they usually live in colonies called casts.
Finally, someone waved back.
The fiddler crab. When you next spot a strong-armed crustacean waving from the shoreline, you'll be sure to know its name.
Lemurs are a group of primates that are neither monkey nor ape. Can you guess what a group of lemurs is called? Is it a conspiracy of lemurs? Perhaps it's a mystery of lemurs. Or could it be a puzzle of lemurs? If you guessed the first answer, a conspiracy, congratulations!
A what?
A group of lemurs is called a conspiracy of lemurs.
I don't think I know what a conspiracy is.
Well, I don't think it's a secret. Listen and he might tell us.
There are over 100 lemur species, but they are only found in Madagascar and neighbouring islands. You can find lemurs in most of the island's habitats, from lush rainforests to the dry, rocky areas.
And the windy ones!
Most lemurs are arboreal, which means they spend the majority of their time jumping around the treetops.
Come here. I want to tell you a secret.
A conspiracy is a top-secret plot or plan. Lemurs usually live in family groups and often conspire together to fight off predators.
Okay, fam, time to move!
In Lemurland, it's girls who run the world. Ringtails are usually led by a mature female. She decides where they all travel, eat and rest.
Right, food break!
Some lemurs are strictly herbivores, only eating fruit and flowers. Others like a side of insects and spiders. Most, like this bamboo lemur, have large eyes for night hunting and long grasping fingers and toes for tree climbing.
I'm keeping an eye out for Billy. He's it!
A conspiracy of lemurs, the primate group spilling its island secrets.
ID crisis.
What do you get when you cross a feathery pond snapper with a furry land mammal? It's a duck-billed platypus.
Yo, what?
A duck-billed platypus.
So you're saying I'm a kind of furry duck? I don't think that sounds right, mate.
Let's find out. Platypuses are as Australian as Vegemite. They live along the eastern coast of the continent around freshwater rivers and lakes.
Just like me, buddy. You know what they say. If it looks like me and quacks like me.
I am not a duck. Like a duck, platypuses have a bill and webbed feet.
Yeah, show me a four-legged duck and we'll start talking, pal.
They paddle with their front two and steer with their hind feet and beaver-like tail. A platypus can hold its breath and stay underwater for a couple of minutes. They scoop up insects and larvae, shellfish and tadpoles, along with bits of gravel and mud from the bottom. Platypuses don't have teeth, so the gravel and rocks in their bills help them to grind up their meal.
Let's see a duck try that. A bit of grit in his dinner. Ha!
Ducks, on the other hand, more often spend their time near the water's surface, bobbing for food like fish, frogs, lizards, snails and plants.
Told you, not a duck, not even a bird.
You can't run from who you really are!
However, like a duck, this mammal lays eggs.
Is that not a thing a mammal usually does?
No, there are only two mammals in the world that lay eggs, the platypus and his spiny Australian land cousin, the echidna.
Yummy. Ants.
Seriously? That's my closest relative?
These two animals are in an exclusive club called monotrings. That makes this platypus zero duck, all platypus, and a little echidna. ID crisis solved.
Yay!
I take it all back. Quack, quack. Don't leave me with this guy.
What happens when you take a doorknob and mix it with a tail, then add a tiny reptile? It's a knob-tailed gecko.
What?
A knob-tailed gecko.
Anyone want to play a game of catch? You bring the bat. I've got the ball.
Knob-tailed geckos are native to Australia and can be found soaking up the heat around the country's smoking hot interior. You'll spot them in arid plains, woodland, scrubs, spinifex-covered deserts and sand dunes. Temperatures can soar above 40 degrees Celsius, so they often build deep burrows to stay cool during the day.
Half-time break.
There are smooth and rough-skinned species, but they all have tails that end in a little ball. It's not entirely sure why. Some think it may help attract prey like spiders, grasshoppers, scorpions and centipedes.
Come and play ball. Look at the pretty ball.
Others believe it may store fat for lean days in the harsh desert. One thing it does do, it can drop off.
Say what?
That's right. If a fox or feral cat attacks, these knobby tails will fall off to distract the predator. A new one will grow back, but often without the knob.
Aw, I hate it when the big kids don't give my ball back.
When it feels threatened, this tiny reptile raises up on all four legs to seem bigger. It grows about 10 centimetres long.
I may seem small, but I'm a big player in these parts. Yeah!
The knob-tailed gecko, a little desert jewel that brings its own ball to the game.
Families.
Say hi to a family with a bad case of the wobbles. The Jellyfish Family. Can you guess what the name is for an adult jellyfish? Is it a Poseidon? Or maybe an Athena? Or is it a Medusa? If you guessed the third answer, a Medusa, you were right.
What?
An adult jellyfish is called a Medusa.
Oh, hi. I'm Medusa.
No way, son. I'm a juicer too.
There are more than 2,000 species of jellyfish bobbing in salt and fresh water around the world. They're mostly clear, but can also be vibrant colours of pink, yellow and blue. They can also be bioluminescent. Bioluminescent. That means they can produce their own light, like a lamp.
Come on, William. Lights out. It's a school night.
But I'm not tired!
Grown-up jellyfish are called medusas for their long tentacles that look a bit like a fearsome monster from Greek mythology named the Medusa. She had snakes for hair and could turn people to stone. Jellyfish won't turn you into a statue, but some species do have nasty stinging cells on their tentacles. This isn't just a defense mechanism. Some jellyfish will sting and paralyze small marine creatures to eat. A juvenile jellyfish also has a Greek name. It's a Euphira, named after an ancient Greek water nymph. These tiny jellies are only millimeters in diameter.
Kids, how many times do I need to tell you? Keep your tentacles to yourselves.
The Jellyfish Family. From tiny blobs to majestic medusas, they're the shimmering stars of the sea. What do you get when you cross a pantomime character with a ghost, a pipe, and a fish? It's a Harlequin ghost pipefish.
You're called what?
A Harlequin ghost pipefish.
Though the ocean's a stage and we may all be actors, I really am the star of this underwater show, you know.
The Harlequin ghost pipefish is widespread throughout tropical and warm temperate regions of the Indo-West Pacific. A Harlequin is a traditional pantomime character, usually dressed in diamond shapes of black, white or red.
This costume may seem a tad frivolous, but make no mistake, I'm a very serious actor.
The Harlequin ghost pipefish doesn't limit its colour range to black and white, but it does specialise in taking on the role of another underwater character, a crinoid, also known as a feather star.
He's not the star here. I am. His role is mostly scenery. Outrageous.
The plant-like crinoid is not a plant at all. It's an echinoderm, related to sea urchins and starfish. Crinoids are famous for their feathery tentacle-like appendages. They can uproot themselves and can even swim and walk.
Hey, buddy, aren't you playing the role of bush today?
Yep, I just really need to stretch my legs. It's more demanding than it looks.
When a crinoid is anchored to rocks or coral, it's the perfect hiding spot for the Harlequin ghost pipefish. They're quite weak swimmers. They can't go very fast and tend to stay within very small territories.
Look, I just put swimming on my acting CV to get an audition, but it's really not a strong point.
The Harlequin ghost pipefish, a little mimic that upstages the stars of the reef world. What happens when you add a master tunnel builder and a furry Australian marsupial? A burrowing baton.
You're called what?
A burrowing baton.
A kangaroo that can dig. Bet you weren't expecting that one.
Burrowing batons, also known as booties, were once Australia's largest ranging mammal. Today, they're only found on a small number of islands off the West Australian coast. These macropods prefer dunes and sandy habitats, but like a ground soft enough they can dig. Their burrows vary from simple tunnels to complex warrens. Warrens, like rabbits and Cape ground squirrels, burrowing batons can dig underground tunnel systems with heaps of interconnecting passages.
Oh, man. Which way is the bathroom again?
Burrowing batons are nocturnal, which means they only come out at night to feed on fungi, bulbs, seeds, nuts and shoots. The word baton comes from the indigenous Australian Darug language. Other animals from Darug include the kangaroo, wallaby, wombat and koala. The burrowing baton is from a family of kangaroo cousins called rat kangaroos. Rat kangaroos are rabbit-sized and have prehensile tails, meaning they can grasp and carry things to build their nests.
Let's see those lumbering kangaroos try that.
The burrowing baton, a rare little island hopper that really knows how to go underground.
What's more sobering than the sight of a shark in the water? Hundreds of sharks in the water. What do you call a group of sharks? Is it a shiver of sharks? Is it a shake of sharks? Or is it a chill of sharks? If you guessed a shiver of sharks, you're right.
Oh, what?
It's a shiver of sharks.
Is it cold in here, or did you just get a fright?
There are more than 400 species of sharks found in the planet's oceans in nearly every watery habitat. Inland lakes and rivers, coastal shallows, open ocean, and down in deep, dark seabeds. Sharks are cold-blooded. That means they often migrate to warmer or cooler waters to adjust their body temperature.
Summer break! Let's get tropical!
Sharks are often spotted alone. As apex predators, the big ones don't need company for protection.
It is nice to have friends every now and again, though. It doesn't always have to be about work.
Some shivers gather in areas teeming with food. Hammerheads are particularly well known for it, with large groups of females usually coming together at underwater sea mountains.
Great summer party, Florence.
Thanks. The waiter's coming through with some food now.
Sharks will take advantage of any food that suits their size. Fish, squid, octopus, seals and stingrays. Some great white shark groups will meet each year, always of a similar age and gender. Ragged tooth sharks will also gather annually to meet a mate.
Is this your first shiver dance? Mine too.
So when you next come across a shark group, you may be thrilled or chilled, but at least you know what to call them. A shiver of sharks.
ID crisis.
Here's a fishy mashup. What do you get when you cross a furry cat with a slippery fish? It's a catfish.
You're Uncle, what?
A catfish.
Don't mind us. We're just hiding from the dog-toothed tuna.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Today, we're swimming with the striped catfish found on the marine coasts of Indian and Western Pacific tropical zones. Like many fish, catfish have barbels around their mouths. They're organs with extra senses to help the fish find and taste food. On a catfish, they're long and thin and look just like a cat's whiskers. Cat whiskers are made of hair and are used to help them sense where they are when they sneak into narrow spaces.
Oh no, stuck again. Can someone help me out of here?
The 4 pairs of barbels on a striped catfish are made of skin and are used to search seabeds for small crustaceans, mollusks, worms, and tiny fish.
Tom, dinner time!
Cats aren't known for being the most social of creatures. Away with you. Striped catfish, on the other hand, love an underwater get-together. Young striped catfish school very closely together in dense balls of up to 100 fish.
Did someone say ball? Is it a ball of wool? We love to play with wool, don't we?
Suddenly a tiny snack looks like more trouble than it's worth to a large predator. And if that doesn't work, striped catfish have a nasty trick up their fins. They have carefully concealed spines that can deliver a highly toxic venom. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Ow! Though they share a taste for fish, this is one fishy kitty you do not want to pat. The catfish. ID crisis solved.
What do you get when you cross a winged mythical beast with a net? It's a dragonet.
Whoa, what?
A dragonet.
I may be small, but my spirit is mighty.
Dragonets can be found in the warm tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific in sandy areas, usually around rocky and coral reefs. Dragonet means little dragon.
Don't let my size fool you. I'm not to be trifled with.
These fish have flat heads, huge mouths, and googly eyes. Add in their long bodies, fancy fins, and spiky spines, and you can see their dragony good looks beaming back at you.
You dare cast your gaze at me? Take the photo. It would last longer.
While legend has dragons soaring the skies, dragonets can't fly. In fact, they barely leave the sea floor. Bottom dwellers by nature, these mini carnivores spend their time scampering along the sand and silt looking for food like worms and crustaceans. Being as still as a rock and looking like one too is their go-to defense mechanism.
I'm not scared. I'm just resting. Whoa, what was that? I'm out of here.
Dragonets are commonly mistaken for other, less fiery kinds of fish, gobies. Some species look very similar to dragonets and they all like to live close to the sea floor.
What? I don't look anything like a goby. Wait till you hear me roar. Roar. Pardon me.
Dragonets also go by another name, stinkfish, because they're coated in a thick slime with a strong smell. The dragonet, the fiery little fish with a fantastical name.
What happens when you take the prongs of a fork and mix it with some seriously tough horns? You get a pronghorn. A pronghorn.
Hang on to your cutlery and head this way, gang. Hurry!
Pronghorns live mainly in the grasslands, shrubby areas and deserts of the western United States and southern Canada. These unique creatures have been roaming their North American home for more than 1 million years. Their closest surviving relatives are the giraffids, a superfamily which includes giraffes. Wow! I did not see that coming! Pronghorns live up to their name, with males and females growing sets of horns that curve backwards. These horns also come with forward-facing prongs, which is why they're called pronghorns.
I see your point.
Pronghorns are the second fastest land mammals on Earth after the cheetah, clocking up top speeds of 88 kilometers per hour. There's nowhere to hide on the wide open plains from prowling predators like coyotes and bobcats. So running away at lightning speed gives the pronghorn its best chance at survival. These swift creatures can run for almost 2.5 kilometers without slowing down.
Woohoo! This is such a rush. I could zing along like this for ages.
Honestly, how are we related? Pronghorns keep their bodies fueled up on a healthy diet of greens such as grass, shrubs, and cacti. Like cattle, pronghorns chew cud, their own partially digested food.
Who needs dessert when you get to eat your food twice?
The pronghorn, the ancient beast with the springy pace of a prairie toddler. What do you get when you mix a piece of plant with a notorious stinger and a reef dweller? It's a leaf scorpion fish.
You're called what?
A leaf scorpion fish.
The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. Or the current in my case.
The leaf scorpion fish can be found on reefs throughout tropical waters from East Africa to southern Japan and across to Hawaii. Their widespread distribution is a little surprising considering they aren't great swimmers. In fact, this genius tactic not to move much is all a part of their defense plan. To convince large toothy fish and grasping octopuses that they aren't worth eating, this fish tries to look like a leaf. This scorpion fish has a long, very thin body and elongated papery fins. It sways gently in the current to mimic the movement of a dead leaf or seaweed.
It's actually hard to look like you are such a bad swimmer when you're a fish.
In fact, they are so confident in their camouflage, the leaf scorpion fish will perch in plain sight. It also makes them a great ambush predator. It's awfully quiet around here suddenly. Too quiet.
Frankie, relax. You're just being paranoid.
Leaf scorpions can't swim as fast as the small fish and crustaceans they like to eat, but they have a lightning fast snatch. These leaf mimics are part of the very large scorpionfish family, named for the stinging venom in their spines. Oh my gosh, look, it's a carnivorous stinging leaf. This reef life is brutal, I tell ya. The leaf scorpionfish, when turning over a new leaf, could be quite the prickly surprise.